Human mechanic buys 5349. Year. Old alien ship for $10. Becomes galaxy's richest emperor. The spaceport of Targus. 9 was a dusty, forgotten corner of the galaxy. Ships of all shapes and sizes creaked and groaned on rusted landing pads. Most aliens who passed through ignored it, thinking nothing of the humans who lived there. Humans were weak, fragile, and unimportant, easy to overlook. Jackson Cade, however, didn't care what anyone thought. He was a human mechanic, one of the best at fixing broken ships and machines with nothing but scraps and stubbornness. While other humans worked menial jobs, Jackson thrived on problems no one else could solve. His workshop smelled of oil and scorched metal, and every wall was covered with half-finished tools, blueprints, and small robotic assistants he had built himself. That morning, Jackson wiped sweat from his forehead and glanced at the hollow news floating above the main dock. Ancient relic auction at Dock 12, 5349. Year. Old alien ship. Bidding starts at 10 credits. He laughed. 10 credits? That wasn't even enough to buy a week's supply of fuel. Yet something in the announcement caught his attention. The ship was ancient, older than most civilizations still alive in the galaxy. Most of the bidders were wealthy aliens who understood the value of history and technology. But why would they risk resources on something 5,000 years old? Curiosity outweighed caution. Jackson grabbed his tool belt, wiped his hands, and headed to Dock 12. The auction was small and dusty. Only a handful of bidders were present. The aliens were all tall, muscular, and confident. Their scales shimmered in the harsh sunlight, and their eyes glimmered with pride. They spoke in strange clicks and growls, mocking one another with prideful gestures. None of them even glanced at the human who walked through the door. Jackson approached the pedestal where the ship sat. It was nothing like the sleek cruisers of the New Age. Its hull was scratched and dented, covered in alien symbols no human could read. The engines hummed faintly, but there was a quiet power about it. It wasn't a museum piece. It felt alive, worthless. A large four-armed alien whispered, tapping his claws on the console. No one knows what it does. It's junk. Perhaps the humans have evolved slightly since we last saw them, another said, sneering. Maybe one can understand relics now. He didn't need their approval. He only needed to touch, feel, and test. When the auction began, he raised his hand. I'll buy it, he said simply. The alien auctioneer barked. 10 credits. Jackson nodded and paid. The room erupted in laughter. A human buying a ship for 10 credits? Insane. Everyone believed the human could not comprehend the technology, that he had made a foolish mistake. But Jackson just smiled quietly. He rolled the ship out of the auction hall, ignoring the mutters and insults from the aliens. Once alone, he climbed into the cockpit. It smelled old, like metal and ozone, but there was something else, something faintly humming beneath the surface, almost like a heartbeat. Jackson touched the control panel. Nothing happened at first, but he noticed tiny, almost invisible symbols glowing faintly. They pulsed rhythmically, as if waiting for someone to understand them. He reached out, pressing a sequence he had memorized from studying alien ships over the years. The cockpit lit up. Screens flickered to life, displaying star maps, alien text, and a holographic figure. It was an AI, a voice and presence left behind by the original creator of the ship. Human detected, it said. Its voice was calm but powerful. You are unexpected. Jackson's heart raced. Most humans would have panicked, but he had been waiting for something like this all his life. He studied the controls, his fingers moving over touch panels and switches. The AI continued. 5349. Year-old vessel activated. Core systems online. Query, are you ready to learn? Yes, Jackson said firmly. I'm ready. The ship hummed louder. Lights traced along the hull, illuminating symbols that had been hidden for millennia. Jackson realized the ship was more than a machine. It was alive. It could think, adapt, and respond. The AI's holographic figure smiled faintly. You are human. Your species is remarkable. The AI said. Few would survive this vessel's systems without error. You have ingenuity. Jackson felt pride, but he didn't let it show. He had always known humans were underestimated. Everywhere he went, aliens looked down on humans. But this ship, this ancient marvel, didn't care about strength or size. It responded to intelligence, creativity, and courage, the things humans had in abundance. The first test came quickly. The ship projected a series of holographic panels, alien schematics, energy flows, star maps. Most humans would have been lost instantly. But Jackson had worked with broken ships, alien technology, and machines with missing instructions. He began connecting circuits, rerouting energy, and testing propulsion sequences. Hours passed. Sweat ran down his face, and his hands were scraped and burned. But slowly, he made progress. The ship's energy core stabilized. The AI hummed softly, approving his work. Outside, the aliens were growing restless. Word had spread about a human activating the ancient ship. The largest alien bidder, a warlord from the Varkon cluster, stomped toward Jackson's dock. "Human, step away from the ship," he roared. Jackson didn't move. "I'm not stepping away," he said. "The ship isn't yours. You didn't understand it." The warlord sneered. He lunged toward the cockpit, but the ship reacted instantly. Doors sealed. The ship's hull shimmered with a protective field. Energy pulses shot from the engines, creating a barrier. The alien froze. He had expected to intimidate a human. He had not expected the ship itself to defend its pilot. "You are clever," the AI said. "Most species would have failed by now, but humans adapt." Jackson smiled faintly. "We have to. It's all we've ever done." As night fell over Targus. 9. Jackson finally leaned back in the captain's chair. The stars reflected on the hull, bright and endless. The AI displayed a new holographic panel, a map of unclaimed sectors, ancient star systems, and energy fields that no one had explored in thousands of years. This is incredible," Jackson whispered. "Where does it lead?" The AI's eyes glowed faintly. "To treasures lost. To power beyond imagination, but only if the pilot is clever, brave, and human." Jackson's heart raced. The galaxy had never taken humans seriously. They thought humans were weak, fragile, disposable. Yet here he was, a mechanic from a forgotten planet, holding the key to ancient power. And for the first time, he felt the thrill of being underestimated, and knowing he could change the galaxy forever. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Its engines roared to life, lifting off the dock. The AI spoke again. "Shall we begin?" "Yes," Jackson said, gripping the controls. "Let's show the galaxy what humans can do." The stars blurred past as the ancient ship jumped into hyperspace. Behind him, Targus 9 became a tiny dot, insignificant but unforgettable. Ahead lay uncharted sectors, alien treasures, and the chance to prove humanity's worth in a universe that had always dismissed them. And for the first time, Jackson realized that buying a 349-year-old alien ship for 10 credits wasn't foolish. It was the smartest decision he had ever made. Somewhere in the galaxy, humans had been underestimated for centuries. But now, with ingenuity, courage, and a ship older than most civilizations, one human was about to rewrite history. And it all started with 10 credits, a spark of curiosity, and the refusal to accept limits. The stars outside the cockpit of the ancient alien ship stretched endlessly. Jackson Cade leaned forward, his hands tracing the glowing control panels. The AI's presence filled the room, a calm, observing consciousness. "You have never piloted a ship like this," the AI said. Its voice was smooth, resonant, echoing slightly, as if coming from everywhere at once. "Few beings can comprehend the systems. Few can unlock what you may." Jackson smiled faintly. "I'm not most beings," he replied. His voice carried confidence, though inside he felt a thrill of tension. Every system he touched pulsed with unknown energy. One wrong move, and he could fry circuits, overload engines, or worse, wake the ship's defenses. The first days in hyperspace were spent learning. The ship responded to thought, touch, and intuition. Some panels required exact sequences. Others reacted to gestures Jackson had never tried before. With every success, the AI offered hints. Try combining energy nodes with the gravity stabilizers. Sequence the flow inversely to unlock the core. It was exhausting, exhilarating, and addictive. Jackson spent hours recalibrating engines, rerouting energy, and testing propulsion systems. By the end of the first day, the ship could move faster than any known human or alien craft. Its shields were self-repairing, and hidden turrets emerged from the hull, long unnoticed by alien civilizations. Humans are unpredictable, the AI finally said, almost in awe. You find solutions without training. You adapt without precedent. Perhaps that is why you survive. Jackson leaned back. We have to adapt. It's all we've ever done. The calm of hyperspace was interrupted by an alert. Sensors flickered red. Jackson leaned forward, examining the readouts. Alien fleets, several, had detected the activation of the ancient ship and were now tracking him. Why now? He muttered. I haven't even left the safe zone. They underestimated you, the AI replied. Humans are often dismissed until they do something unexpected. You are that unexpected. Jackson smirked. He had faced worse in backwater repair jobs than this. Alien smugglers, corrupt bureaucrats, even pirates. This was just larger-scale versions of the same problems, people thinking they were smarter than him. He activated the ship's stealth system. The hull shimmered with a nearly invisible energy field, bending light and sensor scans. The pursuing fleets slowed, confused. Not bad, Jackson said, but we can't stay hidden forever. Over the next week, Jackson explored the ship's archives. Ancient star maps revealed unclaimed sectors rich with energy sources, abandoned planets, and derelict stations. Some of these systems had not been touched for thousands of years. Treasure, the AI said softly. We could claim it all, but it requires precision, courage, and cleverness. Are you ready for that? I've always been ready, Jackson said. But let's not make it easy. I like a challenge. He set a course for the first system on the map, an ancient energy nexus. The coordinates were precise, but the path was riddled with hazards. Rogue asteroids, gravitational anomalies, and energy storms had destroyed ships over centuries. This will test you, the AI warned. Many ships failed. Many civilizations lost vessels trying to reach these sectors. Jackson's eyes lit up. This was exactly the kind of challenge he lived for. Every hazard became a puzzle. Asteroids were dodged by calculating energy flows, rerouting propulsion through dormant engines. Energy storms were absorbed and redirected to power shields, a trick he invented on the spot. By the time he reached the energy nexus, the ship was fully operational, glowing faintly with power. Jackson docked at a hidden platform, a relic station, abandoned for millennia. Panels flickered to life as he stepped out of the cockpit. Energy cells, more advanced than anything in current use, lined the walls. This, Jackson whispered, running his hands over one cell. This could power entire colonies for decades. The AI nodded. It is yours, if you can claim it. But others will come. Others have noticed your progress. The galaxy does not like humans who succeed. Jackson returned to the cockpit, the energy cells safely loaded. As predicted, alien scouts approached. Fleets from the Varkon cluster, the Zyreth Empire, and several independent warlords converged on his location. They think they can take this from me? Jackson muttered. They haven't met a human like me. Using the ship's advanced sensors, he detected weak points in their formations. The ship's AI suggested evasive maneuvers, but Jackson had a different idea. He combined the ship's energy manipulation systems with its propulsion, creating artificial gravitational distortions. Fleets were thrown off course, some crashing into asteroid fields. Others were forced to retreat, confused and humiliated. You humans, the AI said, you are remarkable. Jackson shrugged. We survive. We adapt. We win. After fending off the fleets, he plotted a course to the next ancient system. The map showed a trail of relics, energy sources, and treasures that had belonged to civilizations long gone. Each system would test his ingenuity, his courage, and his patience. One night, while calibrating the ship's energy course, Jackson paused to look at the stars. He remembered all the times humans were dismissed, ignored, and ridiculed. Yet here he was, a human mechanic, commanding a ship older than most civilizations, with technology no one else could understand. "It's funny," he said softly. "All my life, people told me humans were weak. But maybe that's why we survive. No one expects what we can do." The AI remained silent for a moment. Then it spoke, almost reverently. "Perhaps humans are the most unpredictable force in the galaxy. Perhaps you will be the first human to command not only this ship, but something greater." Jackson smiled, a flicker of excitement running through him. He didn't fully understand what the AI meant, but he didn't need to. One step at a time, he would claim this power, not for greed, but to prove humans belonged among the stars. The next system loomed ahead, an ancient derelict star fortress floating silently in a void. Its defenses had long since fallen dormant, but the AI warned it still contained traps designed to destroy intruders. "Sounds like fun," Jackson muttered, gripping the controls. "Time to show them how a human thinks." He carefully navigated the fortress, disarming energy traps by predicting patterns no alien AI could anticipate. Gravity shifts, plasma conduits, and laser grids bent to his will as he improvised solutions on the fly. Within hours, the fortress yielded its treasures, hidden energy caches, data crystals containing lost technology, and a map pointing toward an even greater prize, an ancient energy core rumored to make its possessor the richest being in the galaxy. But the moment of triumph was interrupted by a warning. The Varkon cluster fleet was returning, larger and angrier than before. Word had spread of the human who outwitted fleets, unlocked ancient treasures, and survived impossible traps. Jackson leaned back in the cockpit, grinning. "They're persistent, I'll give them that. But persistence won't help them against human ingenuity." The AI displayed a simulation. Alien fleets converging from multiple directions. The fortress's old defenses were partially reactivated, but alone they could not stop entire warships. Jackson studied the simulation. Then he smirked. "We don't have to fight them directly. Let's make them fight themselves." Using the ship's advanced technology, he created energy decoys, false hyperspace jumps, and gravitational anomalies to scatter the fleets. One by one, ships collided, lost contact, or were trapped in simulated wormholes. Alien commanders were left scratching their heads, unsure how a human could manipulate entire fleets with what they considered a relic ship. By the end of the encounter, Jackson had secured not only the ancient fortress's treasures, but also a reputation across multiple star systems. Word spread quickly. A human mechanic had activated a 349-year-old alien ship, survived impossible traps, and outsmarted fleets. And yet, Jackson didn't celebrate. There was more work to do. The AI revealed that the ship contained clues to even greater power, an energy source that could rival entire planetary economies, lost for thousands of years. "This," Jackson said, gripping the control panels, "is just the beginning." The ship hummed in agreement. Its systems, fully activated, pulsed with energy, as if sensing the future. Jackson's mind raced with possibilities. He could become the galaxy's richest human, or perhaps something more. Something no one would expect. And as the stars stretched endlessly before him, Jackson realized one truth. No alien, no fleet, and no ancient civilization could outthink a human who refused to give up. A mechanic from a dusty backwater planet had just begun a journey that would change the galaxy forever. The galaxy had never taken humans seriously. Yet here was Jackson Cade, a mechanic from a dusty backwater planet, commanding a 349-year-old alien ship capable of feats no alien could imagine. And now, the galaxy was starting to notice. Word of his exploits had spread faster than he could have predicted. Alien fleets that had dismissed him at first now sought him out with a mix of fear and fury. The Varkon cluster, the Zyrith Empire, and countless independent warlords had sent squadrons to capture or destroy the human who had outsmarted fleets and unlocked ancient treasures. Jackson leaned back in the captain's chair, his hands tapping lightly on the console. The ship hummed around him, alive, anticipating. The AI's holographic figure shimmered before him, radiating calm wisdom. They are relentless, the AI said. They underestimate you, but their resources are vast. You will be challenged in ways no human has ever faced.
I've faced worse.
Jackson muttered.
I survived on Targus.
9 with half the tools I needed, dodged corrupt authorities, and rebuilt ships that were falling apart. A few alien warlords won't scare me. Confidence is essential, but so is strategy. You cannot rely solely on instinct. You will need both. Their first encounter came sooner than expected. As Jackson navigated through a dense asteroid field near the edge of an unclaimed sector, sensors detected dozens of hostile ships converging on his position. They had learned from previous mistakes. This time they came prepared, coordinating attacks and attempting to trap him. Jackson's pulse quickened, but his mind remained sharp. They think they can outsmart me? Let's see. He initiated the ship's cloaking system, but this was no ordinary stealth maneuver. He recalibrated the energy flows, creating multiple decoy signatures, each one moving differently through the field. The pursuing fleets began targeting phantom ships, colliding with asteroids, and breaking formation in confusion. Impressive, the AI said. Your approach is unprecedented. Unpredictable is a human specialty, Jackson said with a grin. Even so, he knew he could not remain hidden forever. Using the AI's guidance and his own intuition, he plotted a course toward a legendary system marked on the ship's ancient maps. The system contained a long-lost energy core capable of powering entire planets, but it was not unguarded. The AI warned of traps, sentinels, and ancient defense mechanisms designed to test civilizations that dared approach. Jackson felt the familiar thrill of a challenge. This is what I live for, he whispered. The galaxy had always underestimated humans. Now he would show them the power of ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. The first obstacle was a field of energy storms raging across the void with unpredictable intensity. Alien pilots had avoided the sector for centuries, but Jackson studied the patterns. Energy moves in waves, he muttered. I can ride them. Reconfiguring the ship's energy conduits, he channeled the storms into the ship's shields, allowing him to glide through unharmed. The AI's holographic figure flickered in admiration. Your intuition. It is exceptional. Next came the system's outer defenses, automated drones designed to attack intruders. They were advanced, with sensors and weapons far superior to any human technology. Most species would have destroyed their ships in feudal combat. But Jackson was different. Using the ship's ancient systems, he created electromagnetic pulses that scrambled the drone circuits, turning them against one another. Within moments, the field was clear. Resourceful, the AI said. You manipulate threats as easily as humans manipulate tools. Jackson smirked. Tools? The galaxy underestimates them too. Inside the core chamber, the legendary energy source awaited. It glowed with a soft golden light, pulsating like a living heartbeat. Jackson's hands shook slightly, not from fear, but from awe. He had never seen anything so powerful. The AI explained that the energy could not only make him the richest individual in the galaxy, but also provide leverage over empires if used wisely. But just as he reached for it, a warning blared. Alien fleets had found him. Massive ships from 3 powerful factions were approaching, faster than any patrols he had faced before. Their weapons could destroy planets. His heart raced. Think, not fight, he reminded himself. That was always the human way. When faced with impossible odds, humans adapted. Humans survived. And Jackson intended to survive. Better than that. He intended to thrive. Using the ship's advanced systems, he created an illusion of multiple vessels, each moving independently. Alien sensors picked up the decoys, attacking in confusion. Simultaneously, he activated the ship's gravity manipulation system, creating artificial gravitational wells that pulled some ships into asteroid collisions, while others became trapped in simulated black holes. The alien commanders, skilled and proud, had never experienced anything like this. Hours passed. By the time the fleets regrouped, the ship had already secured the energy core. Jackson's systems had drained and redistributed its power, stabilizing it for transport. The AI congratulated him. You have survived where no one else could. You have demonstrated human creativity in its purest form." Jackson chuckled, exhaustion mingling with exhilaration. "This is just the start. The galaxy thinks humans are weak. They don't realize we think differently." Word of the human mechanic who had conquered ancient traps and survived against fleets spread across star systems. Some species dismissed it as rumor. Others grew cautious, sending scouts to investigate. Yet everywhere Jackson went, humans were inspired. Stories spread of a human who outsmarted alien warlords, unlocked lost treasures, and commanded a ship older than most civilizations. For the first time, humans were respected, not for their strength, but for their ingenuity. As the ship jumped to a safer sector, Jackson took a moment to reflect. He thought of the countless humans who had been dismissed, who had struggled in the shadows, and who had never been given a chance to shine. And he realized that this was bigger than himself. This was proof that humans could rise, not by brute force, but by creativity, courage, and determination. Suddenly, the AI interrupted his thoughts. "There is something you must know. The ship carries remnants of the original Emperor. Its consciousness is dormant, but intact. It will awaken only if it deems you worthy." Jackson raised an eyebrow. "An Emperor's consciousness? And it would serve me?" "Not serve," the AI corrected. "It will recognize you as an equal if you demonstrate qualities it respects: intelligence, adaptability, and the courage to lead."
A chill ran down Jackson's spine.
To have an ancient emperor's consciousness recognize him would mean one thing. Humans were no longer outsiders in galactic affairs. They could lead, influence, and shape the future. He decided not to rush it. First, he needed to secure the energy core, learn more of the ship's capabilities, and survive the inevitable pursuit. He would not be a reckless hero. He would be a strategist, a human with both brain and courage. Days turned into weeks as Jackson tested the ship's systems, explored ancient sectors, and continued to evade alien fleets. Each encounter, each challenge, strengthened his skills and reputation. Humans who had once been invisible in the galaxy now spoke of him with awe. Alien species began to question their assumptions. A human, fragile by nature, had outsmarted and survived where they had failed. One night, while navigating a quiet nebula, Jackson sat in the cockpit, gazing at the stars. "It's amazing," he murmured. "All those civilizations thinking humans are weak, and here I am, holding their secrets, surviving their attacks, and unlocking treasures they never dreamed of. The galaxy is changing. Your path is only beginning. Greater challenges await. But you have already proven what humans are capable of." Jackson's smile was quiet but determined. "Then let's see how far we can go." Just as he finished speaking, the ship's sensors picked up a massive fleet. This was different, larger than anything he had faced. Not just one faction, but a coalition of empires, determined to end the human who dared to challenge the galaxy's expectations. Their ships blotted out the stars, engines roaring, weapons primed. Jackson took a deep breath. This was the ultimate test. He could not outsmart every fleet, but he could outthink them. The galaxy believed humans were fragile, expendable, and weak. They had no idea that one human could change everything. He gripped the controls. It's time they learned what humans can do. And with a flick of his fingers, the ancient ship responded. Its engines glowed, shields flared, and a pulse of energy shot outward, scattering smaller ships. Jackson's mind raced, calculating every movement, anticipating every attack. The galaxy's largest fleets were no match for a human who refused to give up. Above him, the AI's voice resonated like thunder. "The human is extraordinary. Prepare for the next stage. Prepare for recognition." Jackson's heart pounded with anticipation and excitement. He was no longer just a mechanic. He was a symbol. A human who had survived impossible odds, outsmarted ancient technology, and survived where many species had failed. And the galaxy was about to take notice, because some humans, when underestimated, do extraordinary things. And Jackson Cade was about to prove it. The galaxy had never faced anything like him. Jackson Cade, a human mechanic from a forgotten backwater planet, was now at the center of a storm. Alien fleets from countless empires converged, determined to eliminate the human who dared to unlock a 5-ant. 349-year-old ship and claim treasures that had been hidden for millennia. The ancient ship hummed beneath him, alive and aware, its systems glowing with unmatched energy. The AI, now fully integrated into the vessel, shimmered in a holographic form beside him. They have gathered the largest force ever assembled in recorded history, the AI said. They intend to overwhelm you. Conventional tactics will fail. Jackson nodded. His jaw tightened. I'm not going to fight them conventionally. Humans don't survive by following rules. They survive by breaking them. The Coalition fleet appeared on sensors, their ships blotting out distant stars. Energy beams traced across the void, ready to annihilate anything in their path. Jackson's hands danced across the controls, rerouting power, activating shields, and preparing decoy systems. But he knew brute force alone wouldn't win. He had survived ambushes, outsmarted fleets, and navigated ancient traps. Now, it was time to show the galaxy the full power of human ingenuity. Listen closely, Jackson said aloud. We're going to turn their confidence into weakness. Using the ship's AI-driven calculations and his own intuition, he created multiple phantom fleets. Energy signatures moved independently, some appearing to attack the Coalition, others retreating. The aliens could not tell which ships were real. Confusion spread across their command networks. But that was only the beginning. Jackson manipulated gravitational fields around the nearest star, creating artificial lensing that bent light and radar signals. Their sensors failed, their formations broke apart, and internal communications were jammed by overlapping energy pulses. They don't expect this, the AI said. Your unpredictability is remarkable. Exactly, Jackson replied. Humans survive because we think differently. And they never saw this coming. Suddenly, the ancient emperor's consciousness, the one dormant inside the ship, awakened fully. A holographic figure appeared, regal and commanding, with eyes that glimmered like stars. You, the emperor said, voice deep and echoing. Human, you have proven worthy. Few could manipulate the forces of this ship. Fewer still could outwit fleets that once ruled the galaxy. Jackson stared, a mixture of awe and determination filling him. I've learned from every failure, every broken ship, and every obstacle humans faced. We adapt, we survive, and now we lead. The Emperor's consciousness nodded slowly. Then, I will serve you. Not as a master, but as an ally. The galaxy will recognize your strength, your wisdom, and your courage. Humans will no longer be overlooked. The Coalition fleet surged forward, but Jackson had already anticipated their moves. Using the ship's ancient systems, he created energy corridors that redirected their attacks back toward one another. Beams collided, ships spun out of control, and confusion spread like wildfire. Even the most disciplined alien commanders were powerless. The human who had once been ignored had become a force beyond reckoning. As fleets fell into disarray, Jackson activated a hidden feature of the ancient ship, the relic energy core he had secured weeks earlier. A pulse of concentrated power radiated across space, temporarily disabling enemy weapons and communications, leaving their ships drifting helplessly. This is insane, one alien admiral muttered over disrupted communications. How can one human? They underestimated us, Jackson whispered, gripping the console. They never learned humans survive by thinking differently. With the fleets neutralized, Jackson approached the core of the galaxy's unclaimed sector. Planets and systems that had remained untouched for thousands of years now lay open. Energy sources, trade routes, and strategic positions awaited him. This is it, the AI said. You can claim wealth and influence beyond imagining. But remember, leadership requires more than power. It requires judgment. Jackson took a deep breath. He could have hoarded the treasures, built a personal empire of wealth, and ignored the galaxy. But he was human. He understood cooperation, alliances, and inspiration. Wealth was a tool. Influence was the goal. He began sending messages, offering alliances to species willing to work together, showing mercy to those who surrendered, and punishing only those who refused to change. Word spread quickly. The human mechanic had become the richest, most cunning and fair-minded figure in the galaxy. Colonies once oppressed by alien warlords now sought his guidance. Humans across star systems celebrated a newfound respect. Alien civilizations, once arrogant and dismissive, recognized that ingenuity, courage, and adaptability, the human way, were forces to be reckoned with. But Jackson did not stop there. He used the ancient ship's AI to share knowledge, rebuild systems, and stabilize volatile sectors. He became not only wealthy, but also indispensable, a leader who commanded respect without tyranny. One night, as he piloted the ship through the glittering remnants of a star cluster, he reflected on the journey. From a mechanic on a dusty planet to the master of ancient technologies, he had proven one thing: humans, underestimated and dismissed, could rise to unprecedented heights. The Emperor's consciousness spoke softly beside him. "You have done what few could imagine. You have united humans and aliens alike. The galaxy will remember your name." Jackson smiled, looking out at the stars. "It's just the beginning. Humans have always survived. Now we thrive." Back on Targus 9, stories began to circulate in hushed tones. A human mechanic had purchased a 9-year-old alien ship for 10 credits, unlocked its secrets, defeated fleets, and claimed treasures that had been lost for millennia. He had become the richest figure in the galaxy, not through brute force or conquest, but through intelligence, courage, and human ingenuity. Across star systems, humans felt a new pride. The galaxy had underestimated them for centuries. Now, they were no longer invisible, no longer weak, no longer dismissed. One human had proven that when underestimated, humanity could achieve greatness beyond imagination. Jackson Cade piloted the ancient ship through uncharted sectors, the AI humming beside him, the Emperor's consciousness observing and advising. His wealth was immense, his influence unmatched, and his journey had only just begun. For the first time in galactic history, humans had a voice. They had a champion. And that champion was one man who refused to accept limits. "Ready?" the AI asked. "Always," Jackson replied. His eyes sparkled with determination. The galaxy isn't just mine to navigate, it's ours to change. And with that, the human mechanic from a backwater planet became the emperor of the galaxy, a living proof that human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability could conquer even the oldest and most powerful civilizations. The stars stretched endlessly before him, glittering with possibility. For Jackson Cade, the adventure had only begun. But one truth shone brighter than any star: humans, underestimated and overlooked, could achieve greatness beyond imagination.